Hey, welcome back to Matt's Garage DIY. Today, we're going to make a paracord survival bracelet. In this video, we're going to look at three things. First, what do you need? Two, how do you make it? And thirdly, probably most importantly, how do you use it? So for this project, we're going to need some paracord and we're going to need a toggle. With the paracord specifically, we need the survival paracord. As you can see, it's got a couple different color strands. Red is the fire starter. It's got some fishing line and some cotton thread. And then with our toggle, we are looking for a fire steel or ferrocerium toggle. I'll have links for both of those down in the description. Let's get started with the build. Step one, you need 100 inches of paracord. Step two, wrap some paracord around your wrist. This is to give an approximate measurement. There we go. You can see that's where the pieces end, so I'll just kind of loosely mark that. You want this snug but not tight. Holding that mark, I lay it against tape measure. It's about 7.5 inches. Working with this, you're going to want to add 1.5 inches. So I'm going to look for a finished length of 9 inches. Step 3, put your toggle onto your paracord. Feed both ends or feed it back through. Now I'm going to slide this all the way to that 50-inch mark or the halfway point. So once I have that slid to the halfway point of my cordage, my tail length should be the same. Place my toggle at the 9 inches. Mark one of the cords at 0 and make a loop out of that. This is my main loop, giving me the 9 inches. That goes in behind the strand. The other strand, I just simply pass through the hole. Now, as you get going, we'll easily be able to make some adjustments here, both for length as well as the size of this hole at the end. Taking the initial strand that I made my loop with, I now come back across both strands. So it lays across the top like this. I take the second strand, I go over the tail, behind the bracelet, up through the hole. Snug that up. This is where it becomes important that you keep track of which line you started with. So now I'm going to make my loop on this side, over the tail, behind, and back out the hole. Tighten that up. I'm going to do one more, and then we'll just double check our length. Let's make the loop, over the tail, behind the bracelet, back up through the hole. As you can see, we're starting to get a nice pattern here. This is the Cobra weave. So let's see how we look for our length. So you can see I'm happy with the overall length. I do feel like this is a little bit big. So I'm going to just kind of tighten that up a little bit. Pull that through. There we go. I do want to be able to easily get the toggle through that, but I don't want this loop at the end to be so big that it just falls out. So there we go. Got my 9 inches. Once you've got 2 or 3, that's the time that you want to do your final check for your length as well as the loop size. So show you again. Now, if when you're looking at these, you ever lose track of which side you had last made your loop on, looking at the top, you can see around the side, that is where I made my last loop. So now I'm going to make my loop on the right-hand side, over the tail, behind, out through the hole. Now again, you can see that's the loop in behind. So last loop was on the right-hand side. So now I make my loop on the left, over, under, through. I'm just going to continue doing this all the way to the end of the bracelet, and I'll show you how to finish it off. There you go. So that took 3 minutes. At this point, double check the fit. Like I said, it only took 3 minutes to weave this. If you put this all together and you're not happy with the way it fits, you can easily make it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. When I put that on, toggle catches quite nice. Got some movement around the wrist. I don't want that to be too tight. Last step, cut these off and melt them up. I'm leaving about 1/4 inch, 1/8 to 1/4 inch is what you want to leave. This doesn't actually have to catch on fire. You just want to warm that up. And then we'll just kind of press that in. There you go. Repeat the same on the other side. Your Paracord survival bracelet is done. Let's try it out. All right, so you've ended up in a situation where you actually have to use your bracelet. Basically just carefully cut this open where you had your, where you melted the ends. Then, so I'm not gonna cut open that new one. You're gonna use a chunk of your Paracord. All you really need is 2 or 3 inches. Cut that off. You can remelt this end so it doesn't fray. Just roll that up, stick it back in your pocket, and you pull this apart. In this case, I'm wanting the red fire starting cord. So I'll get the rest of this out of the way. I can use that as sort of some more tinder. Just start to unravel this or unroll it. See, that makes a nice kind of really fine fiber right there. So we start kind of pulling that all apart. All right, so we got a bunch of that. Now for the toggle. So when using these little toggle fire steels, you're going to want to leave a piece of cordage wrapped through there. That gives you something to grip or hang on to. You have to scrape the black off, and then I start by making a pile of shavings. See, I've got some nice metal flakes right in there. Get that all together. I'm going to put my fibers right in with all of that. I'm going to strike it. Now, this is a pretty short steel to be striking away from it, so I will typically hold my knife and then try to pull back towards myself. There you go. That's how you use your Paracord survival bracelet to start a fire. So there you have it. This doesn't have to be restricted to just making survival bracelets. You can just make it basically a short version of that as a keychain. You've got some survival Paracord and a fire steel with you, or even make smaller versions. Just put that onto a backpack, zipper of a jacket, that sort of thing. That's how you do it. Hope you liked it. Be sure to click the like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay tuned for my next video. Be sure to check out the links in the description if you want to get yourself some of this survival Paracord or the fire steel toggles. See you on the next one.